Last night, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert turned into a war zone. What began as a standard late night interview with Senator JD Vance, Trump ally, Ohio firebrand and former VP pick, spiraled into a brutal on-air clash that left the audience stunned, the internet ablaze, and Colbert's studio teetering on the edge of chaos. Vance walked onstage with confidence, prepared to defend his record and rural roots. But Colbert didn't waste time. So JD, he opened with a smirk. You here to sell Appalachia, or just Trump's latest grift? The crowd half laughed, half waited for impact. Vance didn't flinch. I'm here for truth, Stephen, not your cheap shots. What followed was anything but a typical interview. Colbert queued up a recent clip. Vance at a rally railing against elites, praising Trump, stoking the base. When it ended, Colbert turned back with a smirk. That's quite a sermon. But is that grit, or just a guy cashing in on red state rage? Vance leaned forward, voice steady. It's grit you'll never understand, I lived it. You mock it, from your cushy chair. The audience cracked, some cheering, others booing. The temperature in the studio shot up. Producers, watching from the wings, knew this was going off script. Then it got personal. You don't know my people. Vance fired. You're a coastal snob with a microphone. The Colbert didn't blink. Snob, he echoed. I'm not the one kissing rings at Mar-a-Lago. The audience gasped. The gloves were off. Colbert zeroed in. You used to talk about bootstraps and values. Now you're grinning next to billionaires. Feels like those hillbilly roots are long gone, huh? He rolled another clip. Vance arm, in arm with Trump, flashing smiles at mega donors. Vance's jaw clenched. His voice rose. That's loyalty, Stephen. Something you clearly don't understand. You flip-flop for laughs. I fight for the people you ignore. The room cracked again. Cheers, groans, outright shouting. The tension was palpable. But Colbert wasn't done. Loyalty? He scoffed. Or ambition. Let's be honest, JD. You went from rags to riches? And now you're Trump's lapdog. Vance snapped. Lapdog, I'm fighting for working people. You're the one who barks when your corporate sponsors tug the leash. The studio exploded. Some in the crowd stood, shouting. Others turned away. Producers were scrambling. Headsets lit up. This was no longer television. It was combat. And just when it seemed it might settle, Vance leaned in again. Eyes locked on Colbert. You mock my story, Stephen, because deep down you fear it. You don't understand it. You can't control it. So you laugh at it. But here's the truth. America doesn't need another smug comedian pretending to care. It needs people who've actually lived the struggle. Colbert sat still, smiling, but no longer joking. The audience was divided. Tension crackled in the air. Then came the moment no one saw coming. Colbert glanced off camera and muttered something under his breath. Security shifted. Vance stood. You know what? He said coldly. I didn't come here to be your punching bag. You wanted a fight. Now you've got one. And with that, Senator JD Vance turned, walked off the stage, and left the Late Show in total chaos. The internet erupted within minutes. Clips went viral. Commentators scrambled. What was supposed to be a political interview had turned into one of the most explosive confrontations in late night history. And as for Colbert, he smoothed his papers, looked into the camera, and said with a grin, We'll be right back. If we're still on the air. I clawed my way up from nothing. JD Vance growled, voice rough with anger. You inherited this desk. His words hit like a punch. The audience tensed, but Colbert just grinned, clawed up. He said, eyes gleaming. No, JD, you clawed your way into power by selling out the very roots you claim to honor. The studio fractured. Half the crowd erupted in chants, JD! The other half laughed, jeered, held up phones. Posts exploded on XN. Vance is melting down livey. Colbert isn't pulling punches tonight? The Vance's fists clenched on the table. I'm not your punching bag, Stephen. He stood up, voice shaking. I'll take you down. Colbert leaned forward, voice low and lethal. Take me down. JD, you're shaking. Your Trump armor's cracking. And everyone can see it. The camera zoomed on Vance's trembling hands. The crowd roared. Some stood. A few rushed toward the stage edge. Producers scrambled behind the scenes. Red lights flashed. Chaos was building. "I'm not done," Vance shouted, swatting away a producer's hand. "You don't get to cut me off." The studio was electric. Shouts clashed. Boos, applause, phones recording everything. Insiders say the control room panicked. He's losing it. "We need to pull the plug." But the show rolled on. Colbert's voice sharpened, his tone cruel now. "Your hillbilly act is fading, JD. You're just another DC sellout wrapped in red, state cosplay." He threw up a mock graphic, Vance smiling next to Trump, dollar signs swirling around their heads. "Sellout," Vance roared. "I'm real, Stephen. You're the fake, peddling lies for claps and ratings." The desk shook as he slammed his fists down. Half the crowd chanted, "JD Fetis." The rest screamed, "Sit down." Phones caught every second. Levis streams went nuclear. Colbert's smile didn't budge. "Real," he said, tilting his head. "You're Trump's puppet, JD, dancing for his donors, grinning for the cameras." That was the spark. Vance erupted, "I'm my own man." "You're the puppet. Corporate strings jerking your every word." He rose fully now, towering over the desk, shaking with fury. "You don't know me, Stephen. I've bled for my people." His voice cracked raw. You've only ever bled for ratings." Colbert didn't blink. "You're bleeding now, JD," he said coldly. Cracking live. "Look at yourself." The crowd surged. People screamed. "Fun us hum," someone yelled. Cups flew. Security moved. "I'll finish you." "You smug hack," Vance shouted, wild now. "You think this is funny? You think I'm the joke?" He tore off his mic, hurled it across the floor. "I'm not your toy. I'm not your segment. So Colbert stood slowly, his voice cold and final. "Tear it down. JD, you're falling apart." "Get out." The room exploded. Half the audience chanted, "Kick him out." The others screamed, "Let him speak." Vance glared around the studio, chest heaving. "This whole thing is a circus," he snarled. "You don't want truth. You want a villain. Well, guess what, Stephen?" He pointed a finger across the desk. "You just made one." And with that, JD Vance stormed off The Late Show, leaving behind a scorched set, a stunned host, and a viral moment already burning through every corner of the internet. The desk shook with the crash. Vance's mic hit like a gunshot. Security lunged. "Let me go." "I'll walk." He roared, voice ragged, arms thrashing as guards gripped him tight. The studio erupted. X lit up in real time. Parvan's meltdown was trending within seconds. Clips looped on every platform. The confrontation was already becoming legend. What was supposed to be a headline interview had collapsed into a spectacle. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert had become a battlefield. Senator JD Vance, Trump's chosen brawler, the self-made Appalachian firebrand, was being forcibly removed from the set, mid-show, as an electrified audience screamed, filmed, and exploded into chants and chaos. Sources say the final straw came when Vance, vibrating with fury, vowed to tear Colbert down. Colbert didn't flinch. He stood up and delivered the killing blow. "You're done?" JD hit the road, cold, absolute. Some stood screaming, "Out! Out!" Others chanted, phones flashed. The room tilted. "You're a coward, Stephen!" Vance bellowed, dragging his heels as security pulled him toward the wings. "You hide behind them!" His voice quailed. Fading. His shoes scraped across the stage. His exit, angry ragged, played out live before millions. One producer whispered into a headset, "She's gone." And then Colbert turned to the camera. "There goes the hillbilly folks." Show's over. Laughter broke through the tension, hard, sharp, nervously cathartic. Some tossed popcorn. Others kept filming. The air was radioactive. It wasn't just the ejection that made this moment seismic. It was the collapse. Sources say as security dragged him out, Vance screamed, "I'll be back. You'll regret this." His voice hollow, his threats empty, his defiance broken. Colbert leaned back in his chair, calm as ice. "You paid tonight," JD in sweat and shame. The jab landed, devastating. The audience split. Some cheered, others booed, but everyone was on their feet. On X, the clips exploded. Kasi kedof F. So ba aduis twayam. Rodation. Vance's fall was going viral in real time. A political spectacle etched into late-night history. Insiders say producers were divided backstage. Some marveled at the ratings surge. Others feared backlash from the right. Too late. The moment was already bigger than the show. Backstage, Vance reportedly stormed into the green room, shaking with rage. "They'll pay for this. I swear it." Ides tried to calm him. No one could. His image, the rugged fighter, the rural hero, had fractured on Lev TV and Colbert. He was basking in it. "That," he said to the stunned audience, "is how you handle a senator." The crowd roared. Security cleared the set. The dust still hadn't settled. And online, CESCDCLB, UNSDPABLE, TATNH Tleti IGHTFEBACK. Analysts agreed Colbert played him cold, and won. The fallout. Still spreading. Cable news shows scrambled to book segments. Commentators took sides. Politicians posted reactions. Vance's tweet went up that night. "Truth doesn't bend to cowards." But it was too late. The truth had already gone viral, and the nation had chosen its villain. Hours later, JD Vance tweeted just 2 words, "I'll rise." It pulled in 150,000 likes, but the replies drowned it. "You fell." JD. Hillbilly heartbreak. Late night KO. Kawan repost. Pay Vance owned. Trended fast. Clips of his mic toss exit looped millions of times. TikTok flooded with memes. Vance's clenched fists, eyes blazing, captioned with, "From Senate to shambles." Supporters rallied in desperation. He's a fighter. They cheated. But the tide had turned. His grid image cracked wide open. Colbert's team smelled blood. Sources say the next night's monologue opened with a jab. "We had a senator. He brought the heat. I brought the boot." The crowd exploded. Ratings did too, up 55%, a late-night spike not seen in years. Colbert's crew buzzed behind the scenes. "Vance thought he'd roll me. I rolled him." Producers were already eyeing bolder plays. Analysts agreed he crushed it. But some warned he's now a target. The win came edged with risk. Still online, the verdict rang loud. Colbert rules. Let night king. Senator stomped. The internet split like a live wire. Vance's base mourned. They ambushed him. He's gold. But critics pounced. Trump's lapdog down. He snapped on camera. Debates raged. Was it too far? Was Colbert too cruel? Pundits dissected every frame. He cracked, one said. Colbert baited him like a pro. Another added, predicting a political bruise that might linger into 2026. Inside the Trump camp, tension chatter spiked. Vance's star, once rising fast, now felt scorched. Insiders say he's holed up plotting his counterstrike. Some whispered, "A rival appearance. A revenge sit down." His silence, louder than words. The sting still fresh. The loss still bleeding. Experts say the ripple effects are seismic. Colbert didn't just win, one analyst said. He rewrote the playbook. Networks took notice. Some are now weighing more controversial guests, or tighter controls to avoid another explosion. Late night has changed. Lines are gone. The audience is split, half cheering he smashed a senator, half cringing it went too far. But the moment is locked in viral stone. Vance fell. Colbert rose. And the aftershocks are just beginning. This isn't over. It's a spark. Vance's comeback. Colbert's next swing. Both are coming. So if you're hooked on this wildfire, smash that subscribe button, because the next round is going to burn even hotter.